The Playbook for Black Sovereignty Part 3. Digital and Media Control, Reclaiming the Narrative and Securing Information. Why digital and media control is essential for Black sovereignty. Whoever controls the narrative controls the future. The way Black people are portrayed in media is not an accident. It is a form of psychological warfare designed to reinforce inferiority and powerlessness, promote division within the Black community, distract from economic and political self-sufficiency, and frame resistance as criminal or radical. At the same time, digital surveillance, censorship, and misinformation are used to monitor and suppress pro-Black movements, target and remove economic and activist leaders, and prevent independent Black media from reaching a wide audience. If we do not control our media, we will always be at the mercy of someone else's version of our reality. This section outlines how to seize control of our own narrative, build independent media ecosystems, and protect our digital communications from surveillance and suppression. How Black voices are silenced and controlled in the digital age. Media manipulation against Black people. Black people are either erased or misrepresented in mainstream media to prevent the spread of empowering narratives. Examples of media misdirection tactics. Negative stereotyping. Black people are mainly portrayed as criminals, athletes, entertainers, or hypersexualized individuals. Erasure of Black excellence. Black inventors, entrepreneurs, and historical figures are ignored or their achievements are credited to others. Cultural appropriation. Black culture is stolen and repackaged, with profit and recognition going to non-Black entities. Promoting internal division. Gender wars, class divisions, and infighting are amplified to weaken Black unity. Misdirection from economic and political power. Media coverage focuses on protests rather than economic solutions and long-term movement building. Digital suppression of Black thought leaders. Mainstream platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok use algorithms and censorship to shadow ban pro-Black content, demonetize or remove Black creators who push messages of sovereignty, and promote distractions over educational content. If we rely solely on these platforms, we will always be at risk of being silenced. Building an independent Black media ecosystem. To break free from mainstream control, Black people must own their media, distribution channels, and communication networks. Step 1. Create Black-owned media platforms. Build independent Black media websites and streaming services, develop Black-owned social media networks and video hosting platforms, and use blockchain-based decentralized content distribution like IPFs and Arweave. Step 2. Secure Black-owned digital infrastructure. Host Black content on independent servers rather than big tech platforms. Develop encrypted, decentralized messaging apps to protect Black activists and thought leaders, and build a network of Black-controlled content creators that fund and support each other. Step 3. Establish Black-owned news and journalism hubs. Develop independent Black newspapers, magazines, and investigative journalism teams. Create funding mechanisms to support long-term Black journalism efforts, and train Black youth in media production, filmmaking, and investigative reporting. When Black people control their own media, the truth cannot be censored, suppressed, or rewritten. Protecting Black digital spaces from censorship and surveillance. Even with independent platforms, Black people must secure their communications to prevent infiltration and suppression. Step 1. Use encrypted messaging and private networks. Use Signal, Proton Mail, and other encrypted communication tools. Create private peer-to-peer networks for sensitive discussions. Encourage activists and leaders to use anonymous browsing like Tor and VPNs. Step 2. Decentralize content storage to prevent deletion. Use blockchain-based storage such as Arweave and IPFs to ensure content cannot be erased. Distribute educational materials across multiple platforms, both online and offline. Back up critical Black media files on secure drives and community-led archives. Step 3. Control your own digital economy. Create Black-owned cryptocurrency tokens to fund independent media. Develop decentralized Black marketplaces to avoid payment processor censorship. Build a financial system that cannot be frozen or deplatformed. A decentralized Black digital space ensures that no corporation, government, or external force can control the flow of Black thought. Spreading pro-Black narratives to counter misinformation. The truth is only powerful if people hear it. Once we control our media and secure our digital spaces, we must strategically spread empowering Black narratives. How to make pro-Black content go viral. Use strategic hashtags and SEO to boost visibility. Flood comment sections of mainstream media with counter-narratives. Engage in coordinated media sharing campaigns across platforms. Use humor, storytelling, and culture to make truth more shareable. Correcting false narratives in mainstream media. Launch Black fact-checking networks to challenge false information. Train digital warriors to engage in social media debates with verifiable data. Encourage people to call out anti-Black media bias using real-world examples. The goal is to reclaim the narrative, control the global perception of Black people, and ensure that lies and distortions do not go unchallenged. Final thought, media is warfare. Take control or be controlled. Black people are not losing because we are inferior. We are losing because we do not control the media that shapes our reality. Once we own our media infrastructure, protect our digital spaces, master narrative control and distribution, we will permanently break free from psychological and digital slavery. The time to reclaim our media is now. In the modern era, control over information is just as powerful as control over land or money. The ability to control narratives, censor discussions, and manipulate algorithms has created an invisible battlefield where Black empowerment is often deprioritized, hidden, or silenced. Historically, mainstream media has been used to demonize, discredit, and distort Black movements, from the civil rights era to modern grassroots efforts for reparations and sovereignty. Now, with the rise of AI-driven censorship, digital surveillance, and algorithmic suppression, the fight for Black-controlled digital and media infrastructure is more important than ever. How digital suppression works? 1. Algorithmic censorship and shadow banning. Content discussing Black empowerment, reparations, and economic sovereignty is often hidden or deprioritized on major platforms. AI-driven moderation systems silence discussions by limiting reach, demonetizing creators, or labeling content as controversial. 2. Surveillance and data tracking. Government and corporate monitoring of Black-led movements has shifted from physical infiltration, like COINTELPRO, to digital tracking. Online behavior is analyzed and profiled, leading to targeted disinformation campaigns and digital sabotage. 3. Narrative manipulation and disinformation. Negative framing of Black sovereignty movements portrays empowerment as radical or divisive. AI-generated content is being used to spread false narratives that discourage collective action. 4. Corporate control over information flow. Black media platforms are deprioritized in search results, social media feeds, and news algorithms. White-owned platforms profit from Black content while maintaining full control over how stories are told. Action Plan, Digital Liberation, and Media Sovereignty. To counter digital suppression, Black communities must own, control, and secure their digital spaces. This means building independent platforms, securing online communication, and amplifying authentic narratives. Step 1. Create and use encrypted communication tools. Use secure messaging apps like Signal for end-to-end encrypted chats, Session for decentralized and anonymous communication, and Proton Mail as a secure email alternative. Avoid surveillance-heavy platforms that track conversations and behavior. Step 2. Develop independent Black media networks. Launch community-driven news platforms and podcasts. Support and invest in Black-owned digital spaces that allow for unrestricted discussion. Migrate away from platforms that consistently suppress Black voices. Step 3. Leverage decentralized and blockchain-based platforms. Use censorship-resistant platforms to distribute Black narratives without corporate interference. Platforms like Odyssey or LBRY for decentralized video hosting, Mastodon for independent social networking, and IPFs or Arweave for decentralized storage of documents and media, distribute critical content on blockchain to ensure permanent accessibility. Step 4. Build secure online communities. Use private forums, encrypted social networks, and invite-only groups to protect community discussions. Develop an online underground railroad for information sharing without censorship. Step 5. Deploy AI and automation to counter disinformation. Develop AI tools that detect and expose misinformation campaigns targeting Black movements. Automate the spread of authentic narratives to compete with algorithmic suppression. Crowdsource fact-checking efforts to maintain digital truth control. Long-term goal, Black-controlled digital infrastructure. Key principle. If you don't own the platform, you don't control the message. The ultimate goal of digital sovereignty is to detach from mainstream digital control and build an independent Black media ecosystem that controls its own narratives and amplifies real Black voices, prevents algorithmic suppression through decentralization, offers secure communication and media distribution, and is resistant to censorship, takedowns, and corporate interference. By executing these tangible steps, Black communities can reclaim the digital space and build a media presence that cannot be erased. If you found this of interest, stay tuned for the next video. Thank you for joining us, and there is no need to like and subscribe when you are building your own freedom.